Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say Shalom to you Akim and Aquat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. Alright, this one's titled, Don't Let That Jealousy Demon Take Control of You. Alright, and the message of the day is, hey, don't let that jealousy demon take control of you. Alright, so I feel like this is something, that there might be, people suffering or struggling with in the truth. Alright, I know jealousy is a big common thing among women, but it can happen among men as well. Alright, it can happen among men as well, covetousness. Alright, and we can grab some of these definitions before we, really go ahead and get started. We can grab the definition of jealousy first, alright? Jealous definition, alright?
Jealous.
It says feeling or showing envy of someone or their achievements or advantages, something that they might do a little bit better than you. Alright, they might have a little bit nicer of a car than you. They might have a little bit nicer of a job than you, a little bit nicer of clothes than you. Alright, might have a deeper voice that you envy. Alright, might have might be able to rap better than you. Alright, might be able to, dress better than you, so on and so forth. They might do certain things, feeling or showing envy of someone of their achievements or advantages. Maybe they got a raise and you didn't, all right? And of course, that'll upset anybody. All right, we can't let that start to, become jealous, all right? Start to become really jealous or covetousness over that, all right? And thinking, because then that can lead into, trying to get revenge and other things, all right? And really, we're just not supposed to be being jealous like that. All right, it says feeling or showing envy of someone or their achievements or advantages. The words we have that are similar is envious. All right, we have covetous, as we're going to get in the scriptures.
Covetous.
It says having or showing a great desire to possess something belonging to someone else. All right, that can lead you into another sin, the sin of theft. All right, the sin of stealing. All right, desirous. All right, having or characterized by desire. Resentful, all right, which is, a little bit differently. All right, what else we have? Bitter, having a sharp, pungent taste or smell, not sweet, not so much. You got the words malicious, green-eyed, greedy, all right, selfish, all right, which, those things can all come about. If you go down here, the opposite would be proud, okay, or admiring, okay. We got, that's dealing with relationships. Fiercely protected or protective or vigilant of one's rights or possessions. All right, protective defense. Not really so much. We're really getting that first definition. All right, that first one, feeling or showing envy of someone or their achievements or advantages. All right, we can grab what envy means as well. What does it mean? Envy. It says a feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. And there's no such thing as luck. It says, verb, that was the noun we read, but here's the verb. It says, desire to have a quality, possession, or other desirable attribute belonging to somebody else. Big, huge muscles. Oh, I want those so bad. And there's nothing, and again, take it. I don't want to say with a grain of salt, but, use your own discernment when jealousy starts coming into play, all right? When jealousy starts coming into play, there might be certain people that you're not necessarily jealous of, all right? Say, for example, in the gym scene, all right? You might see someone, oh, yeah, I like, he has about the size muscles I'm looking to get. All right, cool, yeah, I'll work towards that myself. That really isn't jealousy. All right, that isn't jealousy or envying to look just like him. You're saying, okay, that's that's where I want to be. All right, or saying if someone has a nice jacket and saying, oh, I'd like something like that. That's cool. I like the way that looks. That's not necessarily jealous or envy or covetousness at that point. All right, you got to use your own discernment. All right, when covetousness and envy and this jealousy starts coming, is when it's a strong You know, you know what jealousy is, all right? You know what jealousy is. It's that burning, you know, like, oh, why does he have that and I don't have that? Oh, I'm so upset. You know, when you start, you know, hating the person and resenting the person for that, you know, why he's so big and I'm not so big, all right? Or, you know, why does he get to have that shirt and I don't have that? Why does he have a Mercedes and I'm stuck here with this Toyota Corolla? All right, when you start doing that stuff, that's jealousy, that's covetousness, that's envy. All right, there's nothing wrong with, you know, striving for better. All right, you see something, you got this piece of shit lemon car, all right, that keeps on breaking down. You see someone with a car and it was only a couple $1,000. These are really good cars for the year. And you say, oh, wow, I should get me one of those. It's cheap and it's affordable. You know, it runs well. All right, they last forever. You know, Toyota Corolla, really. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, all right? But when you start coveting and really having this burning, you know, this hatred towards this person because they have something that's better than you, all right, hey, that's when you start going off the deep end, man. You got to watch out for that. All right, you got to watch that because really that's a problem, you know, mostly among women, but it's really a problem among, you know, all Israel. Okay, our people has a jealousy problem. Okay, you know, jealousy about this, jealousy about that, you know, covetousness, wanting that. Oh, I don't like what that he has over there. I'm gonna go fuck him up and I'm gonna steal it. You know, and that's the thing. You know, these things like jealousy, envy, these can lead to other sins. You can, you know, murder. All right, because you didn't like the person. They had something better. They possessed some quality better than you. All right, theft. They had something that you really wanted, so you just went over there and took it. All right, so on and so forth, man. You gotta watch out, man. You gotta watch out. So these are really like, you know how they have that term gateway drug. These are really like gateway transgressions, really. All right, you don't want to let that jealousy demon take control over you because that's what it is. It's a demon that will hop on you. All right. And they're like, look what he has. He has everything better than you. Why does he get to have everything better than you? Look at that. Or look at her. She thinks she's better than you. Look at that, walking around thinks she's a bad bitch. You know, and that demon will hop on you. All right, it's your job through prayer. All right, fasting if you must. All right, you know, asking of the Lord, prayer, right, to get that demon off you, help you overcome what you're going through. All right, and that's with any situation, not just jealousy. All right, but jealousy, all right, addiction. All right, any other thing that you might be going through, all right, overeating, undereating, anything like that. If you're having a problem, ask the Lord, right? Okay, so you need to use those opportunities. We've got scripture, we've gotten whole lessons dealing about asking the Lord, praying to the Lord. All right, if you need something, ask the Lord. All right, of course, within reason. Don't just go ask for a brand new Ferrari or a brand new Lamborghini. All right, the Lord, if you really need a car to get you from place to place, the Lord will give you it. All right, you do have to have faith. The Lord will give you that if that's something you truly need. But He's not going to give you no Lamborghini or Ferrari. He might give you that Toyota Corolla, and that's a damn good car. The Toyotas have wonderful engines, man. All right, they run forever. You could basically, you know, throw those things underwater for 40 years, pull them out. All right, smash the front window out. All right, rip out the steering wheel and shove a round shaped stick in there, and the shit would still run. All right. They're wonderful cars, but again, you know, and this isn't just, you know, talking about the cars we like. It's you know, the Lord's going to give you what you need, all right, and He can take away things that you don't need as well. For example, jealousy, all right, covetousness, all right, you know, addiction, all right, all those things. You can, you know, but we're supposed to be, you know, trying to do better. We're supposed to be, you know, walking in this truth, you know, straightly, all right, not going off to the sides, all right. And that jealousy demon can be a stumbling block, all right, for many. So you got to get over that. So let's go ahead and grab. Okay, I was wondering if someone was going to turn that down. All of a sudden, the TV come on crazy loud. All right, Romans 13:13. Let's go ahead and grab it. Romans 13 and verse 13. All right, we're more than likely going to get some Good News translations and so on and so forth. All right, Lord willing. It says Romans 13:13. It says, let us walk honestly, all right, as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. Again, mentioning that word envying, which we also got the definition of. Okay, so what are you supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be walking honestly. All right, not in rioting and drunkenness, right? And strife, envying. All right, let's see what the Good News translation says. It says, let us conduct ourselves properly as people who live in the light of the day. No orgies, drunkenness, no immorality or indecency, no fighting or jealousy. All right, so conduct yourself as a normal human being, really. All right, not being crazy. All right, so, you know, not being crazy. Not being all over the goddamn place. Let's get the New Living Translation. It says, because we belong to the day, we must live decent lives for all to see. All right, that's the other thing. You know, if we're out here, you know, you're also supposed to, you know, the other scripture is, and it's not necessarily dealing with jealousy, but you know, and just how you should hold yourself. In 1 Thessalonians 5:22, it reads, it says, abstain from all appearance of evil. And another scripture that we have is, you know, be as wise as serpents, as harmless as doves. All right, and get that. Here it is in Matthew 10:16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. All right, so really you're supposed to be abstaining from all appearances of evil. All right, be harmless as doves. All right, but wise as serpents, because serpents are very smart creatures. Let's go back over to Romans 13:13. In the New Living Translation, it says, because we belong to the day, we must live decent lives for all to see. Okay, you know, and that's the other thing, you know, you're supposed to be setting an example, and we're supposed to be, you know, we're supposed to abstain from all appearances of evil. If we're over here, you know, saying, oh, I hate that dude, I hate that guy, I hate that girl because of what they have, and you're, you know, you're screaming, yelling, or you're being jealous, or you're thinking about taking revenge, which, you know, there's another thing, as we said, a gateway transgression, taking revenge, all right, through such as, you know, stealing, murdering, or certain things that can lead to that. So we're supposed to be living decent lives for all to see. All right, we're not supposed to be, you know, being this jealous demon of a person, all right, or this having this huge addiction demon on us. All right, here we are, here on the truth, but you know, you go home and you know you light up a smoke, or you know you pop a couple pills. All right, that's not the life we're supposed to be living. All right, we must live decent lives for all to see. Right? It says, don't participate in the darkness of wild parties or drunkenness, or in sexual promiscuity and immoral living, or in quarreling, and jealousy. In the English Standard Version, it says, let us walk properly as in the daytime, not in orgies and drunkenness, not in sexual immorality and sensuality, not in quarreling and jealousy. All right. And the English Standard Version, you know, is very similar to the New Living Translation, some of the other translations, but we still keep it anyway. You know, but you know, some edification can come of it. Sometimes it changes the words. You never know. So yeah, we're supposed to be, as in Romans 13:13 in the King James Version says, all right, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. All right, so that's not how we're supposed to be walking. All right, we're supposed to be, you know, everything should be done decently and in order. Right? We can get that, and that's, you know, that's not really decent nor in order. All right. We can get decently in order. 1 Corinthians 14:40, it says, let all things be done decently and in order. So they have to be done decently and they have to be done in order. Okay? And that's a scripture that could, you know, benefit from getting a Good News Translation, really, all right? But, you know, and the Spirit's not really on me to grab that in the Good News Translation right now. All right? So if you want to, hey, look it up. You might get some further edification on it. We're going to jump over to Ecclesiasticus 26:6. This one's specifically for the ladies out there. All right, don't take offense. All right, this whole lesson's for everyone. All right, for everyone. Not for everyone, but you know, the people that can receive it in this truth. Not for everyone. That could be taken out of context. All right, was it 26:26? 26:6. Lucky. There we go. It says, where were we? You know, so don't take it out of context, ladies, all right? Really don't, you know, we're grabbing the scripture, but, you know, it's beneficial for you, all right? And like we said, we mentioned, you know, men, all right, as well, you know, going to the gym, all right, you might be, you know, start hating that guy. I hate that guy, he's always bigger than me. All right, I'm going to just do steroids and catch up with him, all right? You know, start getting in that mindset. It can cause you to do other it can be a stumbling block. It can be, hey, you don't want to go down that. You know, you're stumbling down one stair, and then you hit the other one, then you hit the other one, then you hit the other one. Next thing you know, you're out of the truth, man. So you got to be careful. But anyway, Sirach 26:6 reads, but a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman, and a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all. All right, and that's another thing for you ladies. You need to stop being jealous of other women so many times. All right, but a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman. And you know, those people, the women that are overly jealous and exceedingly jealous. All right, you always see how they act. You know, they don't have good lives. All right, they don't have good lives at all. All right, we're gonna get Sirach 26:6 in the Good News Translation. All right, and see what that says. It says, here it is. It says, Sirach 26:6, But a woman jealous of another woman causes heartache and grief. Her tongue lashes out at everyone. Okay, read it again. But a woman jealous of another woman causes heartache and grief. Her tongue lashes out at everyone. Okay, it's plain. Okay, it's plain. So, hey, don't, you got to get that jealousy demon off you. Well, how do you do it? You got to ask the Lord. All right, pray to the Lord. He'll help you out. All right, but you have to believe. All right, when you pray, believe. All right, as the scripture says. Let's get Exodus 20 and 17. Not here. 1 minute. Exodus 20 and verse, I think it was 17. I might be wrong. Let me see. Somehow I hit 29. My bad. All right, Exodus 20 and 17. It says, and these are instructions for what you should not do. And bear with me because we actually got to restart the app because it's doing this thing where I can't highlight again. It says, there we go. Is it going to allow us to? Yeah, there we go. Okay. And there's that scripture, by the way, that we mentioned earlier. It can lead you into, committing other sins. Exodus 20 and 15 says, "Thou shalt not steal." All right, there you go. And let me highlight that because those really should be highlighted. So in verse 17 it says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass," his donkey, "nor anything that is thy neighbor's." Okay? Nor anything that is thy neighbor's, because he has a nicer lawn, he has a nicer fence, his windows are better than you. All right, his garage is bigger, it holds 3 cars, your car only holds 1. All right, he's got new tires on it, your tires starting to show the wires through it. All right, you can't do none of that. All right, I'm gonna go over there and steal his tire. All right, no. You say, hey man, his tires look a little bit better. I really should get around to fixing those tires, but don't covet to the point where and use your discernment, Jake. All right, don't take everything so literally. All right, again, you can see, he has a nice fence. Maybe I should fix my fence up. My fence looks up, a little tore up, little ratted up. All right, so don't take it overboard and think that, oh, I like that fence, but I better leave mine just, fucked up. Wouldn't want to be covetous. If you can fix it, you can go ahead and fix it. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you start, having those feelings of hate and anger and that greed and that envy and it's that demon. You know what it is. We've all been there, all right? It shouldn't really need explanation. You know what that feeling is, and it's a lot different from seeing a fence, seeing your neighbor's fence, all right, and saying, oh, we'll just use garden. Seeing your neighbor's garden and saying, oh, I like the plants that he has. That'd be nice if I did something in my backyard. I bet my wife would like that. That'd be nice. We set up a garden. It gives her something to do. All right, she can have fun with the garden. All right, it looks nice for me. Keeps her occupied. All right, certain things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can't take it to the point where I'm gonna go over there and rip up his lawn. So don't take it overboard and think that you can't do something like that. All right, you're allowed to have thoughts like that. You're allowed to say, okay, that'd be nice. I'd like to do something. But when it gets to the point where I'm gonna rip his up, I gotta make his look worse than mine. That's when you start getting into these. You're going off, man. All right. So again, use discernment. Don't take everything so literal. All right. Sometimes it needs to be taken literal. Sometimes you need to use your own discernment. All right. Ask of the Most High. Is what you're doing wrong? Are you going off? All right. Are you leaning into it too much? All right. Are you? Hey, you got to be careful with that, man. Some of that shit can bug you out. All right, you start overthinking. All right, that's overthinking is like one of the prime what's the word I'm looking for? It's like one of the prime showing signs of a bug out. All right, it's starting to overthink. All right, let me grab a drink. One minute. So overthinking is like one of the prime things of bug out. They start getting too deep instead of being 1 deep, as the apostles, elders always say. Street teacher always mentions it. All right, so you got to be 1 deep and don't be 2 deep. Be 1 deep. All right, and some of you guys are going way over 2 deep. You're being 8 deep over here. All right, completely bugged out. All right, you're making the people that are going 2 deep look like fucking normal people. All right, so hey, there's different levels of it, man. You want to be 1 deep. All right, you want to be 1 deep. You want to walk straightly. All right, don't want to go crazy. So again, Gotta say it, because Israel, you know how Israel is, all right? Seeing that someone has, big muscle, say, yo, I'd like to be that, I'd like to be about that size. That's cool, I'm working on, I'm working on myself, but, not to the point where you're, like, starting to hate him because he's got those bigger muscles. He worked for those. You can work for him, too, all right? But you can't, start to be jealous and envious and hate him for that, all right? Nothing wrong, that's the thing in the in the workout scene. I say, okay, yeah, I'd like my traps, to be right about that size, That's where I'm working towards. All right, everybody has a goal. All right, and you already had that goal set in yourself. All right, you already had that goal set in yourself. It's not like you saw that man. I want to be just like him. No, you had that goal, and then you see something. You're like, hey, yeah, he's right about the size where I want to be. All right, cool, yeah, hey, and maybe you can even ask him, hey, man, what'd you do? To obtain that? How much protein were you taking? All right, were you sticking to a certain diet? How long are you in here? What's your routine? What's your split? All right, what are you doing? All right, how much weight are you lifting? All right, what do you recommend? All right, certain things like that. Instead of being, covetous, I hate this guy. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go. I see you always in there on Sundays with the barbells. I'm gonna take all the barbells. None of that. That starts to get into jealousy and greed and envying and hate and a bunch of other weird shit, man. That's some weirdo stuff. All right, don't do none of that. Let's get the Good News translation for the same scripture. All right, Exodus 20 and verse. If I could not do that. Exodus 20 and verse 17. It says, do not desire another man's house. Do not desire his wife, his slaves, his cattle, his donkeys, or anything else that he owns. Okay, what does the New Living Translation says? It says, you must not covet your neighbor's house. You must not covet your neighbor's wife, male or female servant, ox or donkey, or anything else that belongs to your neighbor. And in the English Standard Version, it says, you shall not covet your neighbor's house, nor shall you covet your neighbor's wife, or his male servant, or his female servant, nor his ox, or his donkey, or anything that is your neighbor's. All right, again, don't go too deep with it. Go one deep with it. Okay, don't go too deep. Go one deep. All right, and again, and the thing is, we got to grab Matthew 16 and 19 as well through 20. All right. Because there's certain things, and there's a right way to go about things, and there's a wrong way to go about things. All right, 6 and 19, Salakia. There's a right way to go about things, and there is a wrong way, all right, to go about things. We're going to grab that. Let me highlight these. Okay. Matthew 6 and 19, we're going to read it and then we'll explain. It says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Okay, and then if you skip down to 24, it says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and mammon being, money and so on and so forth. All right, and we have to explain the scripture because Jake will promptly go and read it and take it way out of context. All right, so lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth. Okay, so what does this mean? Don't be focused, on trying to find the best way to describe this, all right? Your treasures that you have are not important, okay? They're not something that's going to save you. They're not going to help you in anything, all right? All the things that you have, all right? All the collections and things that you have are going to rust away and be gone. Thieves can break through and steal them, all right? They can rust, they can go away, and guess what? You're not taking any of those things to the kingdom with you, okay? It says in verse 20, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, okay? This knowledge, this understanding, studying, watching lessons, making lessons, right? Where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Because guess what? You're going to have faith in the kingdom. You're going to have, belief in the kingdom, and those are things you can work on now. All right, those things translate over. All right, you're going to have those things in the kingdom. You're not going to have, your music collection in the kingdom. All right, you're not going to have that. Okay, and this is coming from someone personally, and that doesn't mean that let's get 21 before we go on. It says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. You have to examine yourself, and again, All right, you have to do this too. You have to examine yourself, and you got to be one deep and not too deep. All right, it's very important because some of these scriptures right here can have people, it can be a stumbling block to people. All right, I can tell you personally as myself. All right, there's things I collect. I personally, I collect. I'm getting into vinyl. All right, I like, I wouldn't say I necessarily. I collect to an extent video games. All right, most video game players do. You have a bunch of them. All right, I collect, movies. All right, and certain things like that. A movie collection. All right. But like the big thing, what else? Stones and stuff like that. But that you gotta examine it. All right, you gotta examine it. All right, you gotta realize that none of those stones, or because some people have a stone collection. They like stones. All right, minerals, those are beneficial too, healing. All right, might have movies, or you might like movies. You have DVDs or VHSs. Some people like the retro. I like the retro stuff. The VHSs and stuff like that. I don't know. I like that stuff. All right. So, and music and formats and medias, I like those things, all right? But guess what? Are those things going to deliver me? No. Am I going to bring those things in with me with the kingdom? Absolutely not. Can those things be stolen? Yes. Can those things break? Can those things rust? Yes. All right. Can things get in and completely destroy those things? Yes. Are those things important? No. They're not important. At the end of the thing, are you wrong for I liked having video games, but I didn't want to buy any, because I didn't want to I didn't buy any furniture or any DVD players or TVs, because I felt like I'd be laying up for myself treasures. I didn't want to I used to have a nice collection of jewelry that I just got rid of because it's not. Look, Jake, don't be too deep, be one deep. Okay. You got to realize what the scripture's talking about, all right? Don't let those things, as it says down in verse 24, that you can't serve two masters, man, okay? So you can't let those be your primary focus. You can't, wake up and go straight to the video games. You can't wake up and go straight to the movies. You got to wake up, all right, and go if, sometimes you have to work, but if need be, if you can, not need be, because need is be, all right? But if it's in any of your ability, all right, the first thing you should do is, do something related to this truth. Read, watch lessons, make a lesson. All right, as a man, make a lesson. Okay, that's where your heart should be. All right, that's where your heart should be. Of course, if our video games all got stolen, we'd be upset. All right, if our whatever the hell got stolen, we'd be upset. But guess what? At the end of the day, it's not like the spirit was taken from us. All right, you have the spirit taken from you, man. That's a wrap, man. That's awful. That's something you would never want. Okay? You'd never want that. That's not something you'd want. It's not something, that would be completely devastating. You can't get that back. Okay? So again, be mindful, all right? Be one deep, don't be too deep, all right? So we can get it in the Good News Translation, see what it says. It says, riches in heaven. It says, do not store up riches for yourself here on earth, where moths and rust destroy. Moths, your clothes can get ate up by moth. All right, moths or rust. All right, anything metal, rust can, destroy. It says, and robbers break and then steal. Instead, store up riches for yourself in heaven, where moths and rust cannot destroy, and robbers cannot break in and steal. For your heart will always be where your riches are. All right, so again, you got to take it with, use your discernment, all right? Pray to the Lord, okay? You can't let those things, consume you, all right? You can't let those things consume you. You can't be it to where, you're only worried about, video games, and you never watch lessons, you never read, you never make lessons, all right? You don't care about the Lord, you're not praying to the Lord, all right? You can't get to that point. Same, not just video games, movies, clothes, all right, stones, all right, anything that you can get a collection of, all right, anything that you could, anything that you could buy, all right, TVs, anything like that, all right. Remember that the Lord comes first, right? So let's get Luke 12 and 15. Luke 12 and 15, we're going down through 21. It says, let's highlight these. Let me see. a faster way to do this? Ha! Yeah, there sure is. Oh, no. Boom, bam. I didn't know I could do that. Nice. All right. So, Luke 15, or Luke 12, Slakia, Luke 12 and verse 15. It says, "And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesseth." And that's really good to continue on from what we're talking about. All right, your life doesn't consist in abundance of things that you have. All right, your life doesn't consist in the video games you own, or the movies you own, or the clothes that you own, or the shoes that you own, all right, or the rings and the jewelry and the stones that you own. All right, you know, it doesn't consist of those things. It consists of this truth, all right, and of the Lord. All right. Take heed, it says, "And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesseth." Slakia, indigestion hitting. All right, it says, "And he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully, and he thought with himself, saying, What shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? And he said, This will do, I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry." So he's, so he can get all of his stuff in there, all right? Because he was worried about possessions, right? It says, "But the Most High said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich towards the Most High." You got to be rich towards the Most High. All right, you got to be rich towards the Most High. You got to do the Most High's work. All right, you got to watch lessons. You got to make lessons. You got to study. All right, that's how it works. All right, when you're watching lessons, you're really studying. All right. You're listening, you're getting it, all right? You can take notes, all right? Do what you need to do, all right? And there's multiple ways to do it. You can use, a program called Obsidian that I use to take notes, all right? You can use Google Notes, or whatever it's called. I don't like using that. I moved all my notes from that over to Obsidian, all right? Because Obsidian's completely offline. They can't take it down, all right? And they can't remove the notes. You don't have to have internet to access it, all right? You can back it up to thumb drives, all right, hard drives, whatever you have to do, all right, and you can just send it all over the internet or however you want to do it, all right. So, look into that. I have a lesson on it talking about it as well. Okay. So, hey, that's what you're supposed to be doing first and foremost. All right, before anything else. All right, let's get James 3 and 14. James 3, verse 14. It says, give me a moment. I just highlight these as I go, as I use them. James 3 and 14 through 16 reads, "But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against this truth." And lie not against the truth. It says, "This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish." What wisdom? Envying and strife. Okay, it's not from above. It's earthly, it's sensual and devilish. Right. In verse 16 it says, "For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work," as we talked earlier about, the gateway transgressions, really, all right, where you have that envy and strife, all right, that can lead through things, you start hating that person, envying him so much, murder, all right, you end up getting with his wife, all right, you end up stealing from him, all right, you end up going over there and smashing his house all up to pieces, all right, and so on and so forth, okay, so on and so forth, okay. "For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work." So, hey, be careful, man. Be careful. All right. We also have, let's get, how long have we been going for? 33 minutes. It says, let's get Proverbs 14. And actually, you know what? Let's go. We can get this in the Good News Translation. It says, James 3 and 14, it says, "But if in your heart you are jealous, bitter, and selfish, don't sin against the truth by boasting of your wisdom. Such wisdom does not come down from heaven. It belongs to the world. It is unspiritual and demonic. where there is jealousy and selfishness, there is also disorder and every kind of evil. New Living Translation says, but if you are bitterly jealous and there is selfish ambition in your heart, don't cover up the truth with boasting and lying. For jealousy and selfishness are not the Most High's kind of wisdom. Such things are earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For wherever there is jealousy and selfish ambition, there you will find disorder and evil of every kind. All right, stealing, murder, all right, so on and so forth. You got to be careful, man. Got to be careful. And get Proverbs 14 and 30 now. Let's get not 13:30. All right. Here it is, plain. It says, a sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones. All right, but envy the rottenness of the bones. What does it say in Good News Translation? Peace of mind makes the body healthy, but jealousy is like a cancer. Peace of mind makes the body healthy, but jealousy is like a cancer. New Living Translation. A peaceful heart leads to a healthy body. Jealousy is like cancer in the bones. There you go, man. There you go. Now, it also shows you, and you got to get over these things, because we can jump over to Galatians 5 and 19, all right, and leave off on a scary note, because some people need that. And see what type of people you're lumped in with, okay? Galatians 5 and 19 reads, now the works of the flesh are manifest. These are works of the flesh, all right? And they're manifest. What are the works of the flesh? Which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, and revelings, and such like, of which I tell you before, as I have told you in the time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. And that's where people, envy-ish people are lumped in. You're lumped in with witchcraft practitioners and, and murderers, all right, and adulterers, all right. Hey, man, it's not a place where you want to be lumped into. We can go and get the Good News Translation. It says, what human nature does is quite plain. It shows itself in immoral, filthy, and indecent actions. In worship of idols and witchcraft, people become enemies when they fight. They become jealous, angry, and ambitious. They separate into parties and groups. They are envious, get drunk, have orgies, and do other things like these. I warn you now, as I have before, those who do these things will not possess the kingdom of the Most High. All right, so there you go, boom, bam. All right, and witchcraft, in case you're wondering what witchcraft is the use of drugs as well. All right, witchcraft such as using trying to use spells and doing all that stuff as well, idol worship and all that stuff. But it goes back to the word pharmakia. All right, which is the administration of drugs. Look it up. All right, and that's why we have that word. That's where the word pharmacy comes from. All right, it's from pharmakia. All right, which is a Greek word. It comes from the word pharmakia, all right, or pharmakia is really how it is, pharmakia, all right, which sounds, if you just say pharmaky, it sounds like pharmacy, all right, pharmakia, pharmacy, all right, pharmaky, pharmacy, all right, but the word is pharmakia, pharmakia, all right, I believe it's pronounced pharmakia, all right, and it could be pharmakia, look it up, do the studying for yourself, all right, I can't remember which one it is, it's one of them, I think it's pharmakia, but I might be double guessing myself, or whatever the fucking word is I'm trying to use. All right, double guessing. I can't fucking remember the name of the word. Anyway, overthinking it. All right, overthinking it. That's the word. All right, I can use that one. It might be overthinking. All right, either way, it's one of them. Look it up. That's where the word pharmacy comes from. So modern day pharmacy is literally just witchcraft. That's what the word goes back to, witchcraft. Okay, so there you go, man. So those people, people that do such things aren't going to inherit the kingdom of the Most High, because you're not going to have your mind really focused on what you should have your mind focused on. Your mind's going to be focused on envying and hatred and and jealousy. All right, and coveting. All right. So you got to be careful, and don't let that jealousy demon take control of you, because it is a demon. All right, it is a demon. And let me see if there's another scripture I want to grab. Bear with me just one moment. Let me see if there's anything else I want to touch on before we go ahead and close out. I mean, really, we can go and grab Ephesians, because that's a great scripture dealing with demons. You can get Ephesians 6:12, okay, which reads, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." If you go over the Good News translation, it says, "For we are not fighting against human beings, but against the wicked spiritual forces in the heavenly world, the rulers, authorities, and cosmic powers of this dark age." All right, and one of those things is jealousy, covetousness, all right, envying, all right, strife, all right. So there you go. That's, and I don't think, there might be something else. Let me see. We'll grab the scripture we mentioned earlier for this truth, all right, for edification's sake. Okay. And this we're going to close out more than likely. All right. So Mark 11:24 reads, and it's plain. I don't think we really have to get any, the Good News translation or anything like that, but we might anyway. See what it has to say. It says, Mark 11:24. "Therefore I say unto you, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them, and ye shall have them." Okay, again, we mentioned that earlier, so you got to believe, all right? When, pray for the Lord, ask for help, all right? It says, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. So if you're trying to, get over this jealousy demon or this envy demon or whatever demon you're dealing with, whatever you're dealing with, all right, when you pray about it, all right, and ask the Lord for help, you have to believe that he's going to help you with that, okay? And he's given us these opportunities, all right, and these abilities to do these things, all right. He's given us the ability to pray, all right, and call upon him, all right. So use them, all right. Utilize those tools that has been given to you, all right. So use them, all right. Don't just leave the tools in the shed to get rusty, all right. Use them, all right. If you need them, use them, and you do need them, all right, because we are wrestling against principalities. All right, not against flesh and blood. Okay, so Mark 11:24 in the Good News translation, it says, "For this reason I tell you, when you pray and ask for something, believe that you have received it, and you will be given whatever you ask for." New Living Translation, "I tell you, you can pray for anything, and if you believe that you received it, it will be yours." Again, within reason. Don't be surprised if you pray for a Lamborghini and you don't get it. The Lord knows you don't need that, because let's see. We're gonna grab one more. This might be the last one we grab for this lesson. Let me see. And we're gonna grab this. I don't think we grabbed it in this. I think I put it in one of my lessons coming up. All right. I don't think we grabbed this one. Matthew 6:8. It says, "But be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things you have need of before you ask him." All right, so the Lord knows you're struggling with a demon. He sent that demon to test you. He knows what you're struggling with, and He knows what you want. He knows what you need, and you don't need a Lamborghini. All right, you don't need a Ferrari. All right, He knows what you need. All right, and if He knows that you need those things, and you pray and say you need those things, He'll give you those things. If you have faith that He will give you those things. All right, so I think that's all we're gonna grab, brothers and sisters. I think that's it. I think we'll close up the lesson there. All right, so that's been, don't let that jealousy demon take control of you. All right, don't let that jealousy demon take control of you. As we've read, a quick little recap. All right, you're supposed to be walking honestly. All right, don't be jealous. All right, don't be, start getting hatred because someone has something better than you. Because what's that gonna do? That's gonna open up, it's like the scripture says, in James 3 and 4, all evil works come through those things. All right, with those, well, not through those things, but with those things come evil works. Why? Because jealousy is going to open you up to committing adultery or murdering or stealing. All right, or doing something else. All right, that's wicked. All right, that's not how you're supposed to be acting. All right, and in Proverbs 14 and 30, it literally said, the Good News Translation mentioned it's like a cancer, man. Jealousy and envying and covetousness, it's like a cancer, all right? It takes over you. Cancer spreads throughout your body. That's how that works, all right? Have you ever seen a jealous woman or a jealous man? They are completely overcome and overwhelmed with jealousy. All right, it's their whole life. They're just jealous. They talk shit about people behind their back. They say, "Oh, I don't like what he has. Oh, why can't I have that?" You're completely over. It makes it basically over. You're saturated in it. You're sitting there in this rottenness. All right, the rottenness of the bones. All right, like this cancer-like state. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. All right, hey. Like we grab the scripture, the Lord knows what you want before you ask of it. But when you ask, you have to pray, knowing, believing. When you pray, believe, all right, and you shall receive them, all right. And don't let that jealousy demon take control over you. Pray the Lord; He'll help you out. But you have to believe, all right. So hey, with that, we're gonna close out. Lord willing, this lesson has been edifying. All right. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKadosh. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me the truth and rule well. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to leave them down in the comments, and I'll try to get to them to the best of my ability. All right. If there's something I feel like I can take on. All right. So with that, until next one, Lord willing, Shalom.